Drawing inspiration from classic Japanese RPGs of the past, Cosmic Star Heroine takes you on a sci-fi adventure filled with secret government conspiracies. Take on the role of secret agent Alyssa LaSalle as you uncover the true motives of the agency you've been working for. Cosmic Star Heroine is available on PS4, Vita, PC, and now for the first time this week, Nintendo Switch. Play as badass secret agent Alyssa LaSalle, who along with some other playable characters all work for the Agency of Peace and Intelligence. Alyssa is at the top of her class in this organization, working her entire life to be where she's at. However, her perception of the agency she works for is shattered the moment she comes across intel that suggests they're up to something else. Through a series of missions with your fellow agents, you'll travel to other planets as you finally get to the bottom of what's going on. There are some minor stories throughout this grand narrative that take the game's cast of characters on their own little adventures. They were nice distractions to change up the pace of the overarching story, but I felt one constant problem throughout the entire game's narrative, and that was the characterization and the pacing of the characters and the story. So often I found new characters joining my party with very little introduction, and that made me just not care about them. The same goes for antagonists that would join the story as quickly as they would leave it. Ultimately, I wasn't captivated by the cast of characters or the story that much. The game's campaign felt decent, but didn't get me to care about the characters outside of Alyssa, who I spent the most time learning about very early on in the game. Cosmic Star Heroine feels so much like a long-lost Sega CD or Sega Saturn RPG that I never heard of. Its gameplay has you exploring new planets and dungeons, fighting enemies and bosses in the process. You will explore many terrains and dungeons across 3 planets, taking you to different environments and biomes varying on the planet. Dungeons usually have a puzzle design to them too. Early dungeons, for example, had me using switches to activate specific types of doors that continued my progress. It was a game of opening this door to go through it and now close it to activate another type of door. Battle encounters are also terrain-based rather than random encounters. I love this design. I'm not the biggest fan of random encounters in most RPGs, with maybe Pokemon being the exception. Usually I prefer to see the enemy like in the Persona series, so it's nice to see that implemented here. It's also done in the same manner as Chrono Trigger, where the battle actually plays out in the very same exploration screen. Now, the battle system is certainly unique from most RPGs. Rather than using magic points to perform attacks, you're using a hypercharge based system for your skills. Each of your characters have skills, items, and abilities that they can use in battle. Using a skill doesn't use up a point or anything, but rather that specific skill. You'll have to use a turn to recharge all of your used up skills in order to use them once again. At the same time, each of your characters get a charge counter on their icon per turn. Once it gets filled up, your characters will get a buff on whatever move they perform in that turn. It was an amusing battle system that was a nice change of pace from traditional RPGs. Much like in the Persona series 2, you can analyze what types of attacks enemies are weak against, and then use the appropriate move against them. I really appreciated how quickly the combat was. If I ever died in a boss fight or in a battle, I could immediately restart the match and be on my way to play once again. No loading screen or checkpoint respawn. However, you still can do manual saves if you open up the main menu and save from there. Speaking of the main menu, this is where you can customize your character's attributes and powers. As you level them up in battle, you can unlock new skills that you can swap in and out for each character. It's a great way to customize each of the characters to your liking and have them be a support, attacker, or a tank character, for example. Over the 9 to 12 hour campaign, I took delight in running into battles and exploring dungeons. The combat was fun enough to the extent that I went looking for fights rather than avoiding them just to quickly finish the story. Dungeons were mostly amusing with very easy to ever so slightly challenging puzzles. Overall though, I was thrilled by Cosmic Star Heroine's gameplay. It captured me for a day of non-stop play on my Switch between the dock mode and the handheld mode. Showing this game off to you now, you'd be hard pressed to tell if you're playing a CD-ROM game from the 90s or a modern indie RPG. It's the latter, but it goes to show that the team nailed the classic RPG look and feelings they were trying to evoke with Cosmic Star Heroine. It's certainly a visual style that won't be for everyone, as it really goes for that classic age look. Personally, I found the art style to be charming, complete with fully animated cutscenes that look like they were taken straight out of a Sega CD game. I usually really like RPGs that put a lot of attention to detail with animation throughout the world, and Cosmic Star finds a nice compromise of giving small details animation, though they usually only consisted of 3 different frames. I would have loved to see a bit more animation though, perhaps in the character portraits whenever someone is speaking. Cutscenes also don't take up the entire display. That can completely be a stylistic choice by the developers, but playing this on my Switch in handheld mode, it looked pretty weird to have a crop animation already on the smaller display. When it comes to sound design, Cosmic Star Heroine does a great job of providing a library of music that gets you revved up for heated boss fights. Music can be heavy on the rock side, yet still have that sense of grace to them. It's a weird description, I know, but there's always this use of whimsical piano tunes and songs that are accompanied with adrenaline-inducing rock tunes. It's perfect for battles. As for sound effects, they're more simple. Just about everything in the battle has a sound effect, but nothing too outstanding about their design. Much like the design of visuals, I think these were meant to stay feeling more classic than anything. As for the Nintendo Switch version, it's a bit of a disappointment not to see HD Rumble be implemented in any sort of fight or significant use. It's a simple feature that could have easily added some extra presentation points to the different sound effects in the game. Cosmic Star Heroine didn't captivate me with some grand narrative or compelling character development. Instead, it was gameplay that really got me to continue playing this RPG. Providing me with a very in-depth, interesting battle system and an easy-to-navigate upgrade path for characters, I was easily hooked on Cosmic Star's gameplay. The old school presentation may be a turnoff for some, but I found the classic art style to be charming, with music that was either really great or just alright but never annoying. Ultimately, while I think the story could have been written better, the gameplay experience is what I found the most entertaining. If I had to give it a score, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. That does it for my review of Cosmic Star Heroine for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Vita, and PC. If you enjoyed the video, then please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new around here for more reviews just like this every single week, and you can check out my latest videos on the left side of the screen. Thank you all very much for watching, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.